many of you know tonight, this evening, that you've been born again? I do, I have, and I'm glad. It's funny, I had a string that was slipping. I've got such a light gauge string on this Taylor. And last week, the string was slipping, so I got a new string out and put it on that first string. And I just wrapped the string up, the excess up in here somewhere. And so about 5 minutes ago, I was sitting here in the chair and I thought, well, I'm going to cut that ugly string off. And so I did, and I cut it a good inch from the hole in the key or the tuner. But it's still slipping down. I swear. I may have to throw this guitar away in a little bit. Maybe it'll stay. We'll see. Let's play an old bit of goodie here. Let's see if I can. I've come too far. You know, I finally found out, well, I kept saying Dottie Rambo till Neil Pope told me enough times that it was Nancy Harmon. That's a great song. But I still don't know if it's I've come too far to turn back or I've come too far to look back. I think it's turn back. How you can look back, I mean, everybody looks around, but if you turn back, that means you're going backwards. I think it's I've come too far to turn back. Who knows? We just played it. Let's see if anybody's on this tube today here. On good old wonderful you. Oh, this is Facebook here. But I am on YouTube. This program goes simultaneously. We do simulcast. We used to be on Roku, but we're doing nothing. I don't know how many people's on Roku. Most people on Fire Stick or smart TVs or something or whatever. But we made some changes to our streaming to try to save a few bucks. Lord, everything's so costly now, and so we're just going to Facebook and YouTube. But that gets a pretty good audience there. But we are simultaneously on YouTube. Let me encourage you, not just when we're on live here, when you're sitting around with nothing a whole lot to do. Go ahead and go to YouTube and type in Beaten Bow or Charlie Beaten Bow or Beaten Bow, just Beaten Bow. And it'll take you to our YouTube, and there's a ton of videos on there. And Ray Snyder, yeah, I guess you're at the lake this week. I'm glad you're here tonight. And Gary Collin, I hope you're feeling well, bud. And buddy Papa Joe Salter, Paul Duncan, I'm glad you're around. I may have lost a few people moving this back an hour. It seems like that I would sit here waiting to get ready, and I think, man, it's time to go. It's not, and it's still another hour. So I thought I would try it for a while and see how it goes to change it back 1 hour earlier, 8 o'clock Eastern time instead of 9 o'clock, and 7 o'clock Central time over here in beautiful Alabama where I am. And we'll just have to see how it goes. And let's see, I saw somewhere, there's Jerry Day. Cousin Tom, I thought I saw his name show up there somewhere a while ago. Anyway, but I'm glad that you chose to watch the video. I love it when I go off and it's a good number watching, and then they pick up and it about triples because everybody can't be at the same place at the same time. But once it's there, it's there. And so I appreciate you watching. Old Taylor 614 CE. I never dreamed when I was growing up that I'd have a guitar like this. I always said when I was a teenager, I said there's two things I want to have. I'm going to have a Thunderbird and a Fender guitar to put in the trunk of it. And I did. When I was about 18, I guess. I had 2 or 3 cars, and I wound up getting the Thunderbird. I had a 18, that would have been, I would have been 1965. 1965 or 66, somewhere along in there. I had a 1960 white Thunderbird. It wasn't that old. It's 67. It might could have been 67. I don't think it was 68 because I had a 67. I had a GTO, a 65 GTO in about 1966. And then 68, when I was dating Linda, I had a 68 Dodge Charger that I had traded GTO on. So it was probably 66, 67. I was, because I was 16. When did I turn 16? 1963, I guess. And so I had a beautiful white Thunderbird with black leather interior. Beautiful car. I wish I had it today. I'd put a Taylor in the back of it. But I never thought. I went in a music store with my grandpa in Kannapolis, North Carolina one time. And I was spending the summer up there with him. Gosh, I wasn't old enough to drive or anything. And I would play at, a guy had a J45 Gibson. I can't remember his name, but he'd come to Wednesday night prayer meeting and he'd bring that guitar for me to play for the folks at the prayer meeting on Wednesday night. I'd play guitar for them. Lord, I was a young kid. I was probably 14, something like that, maybe 15. And 4A before I got driver's license. But he took me to a music store and was looking at some guitars, and I looked at a Fender Jazzmaster. I remember well, it was one of those Sunburst Fender Jazzmasters, plugged it up to an amp, played it. And I want to say the guitar was probably around $400 or $595, maybe $695. That's a lot of money back then. And the Fender amp was $200 or $300. It was pretty close to $1,000 for all of it. I played it, and boy, I just wished it was mine. And I remember my grandpa, who worked in Cannon Mill for 50 years for $50 a week. Never made any big money there, but he looked at me, he said, "Son, you won't never be able to afford a guitar like that." And so, I just took it, I just heard it. I didn't take it to heart. I just heard what he said and went about my business. And years later, Linda and I, and when Virgil Beck was traveling with us, I guess it was when it was. Maybe it wasn't. It was after that. Anyway, long story short, I was in Kannapolis, North Carolina, same town, preaching a revival. And this guy came up to me and at the service, he said, "I got a guitar like I want to show you." I said, "I'll bring it tomorrow night." I said, "Okay." He said, "I bought a PA from a rock group down in Charlotte. They threw this guitar in." So he brought it, and it was a Fender Jazzmaster. I said, "Man, that is one more cool guitar." And I said, what are you going to do with it?" He said, "I don't know. I don't play guitar." He said, "I just got it. It's in the deal." He said, "You want it?" I said, "Man, do I want it." I said, "I love it." He said, "It's yours. Take it with you." I thought, man, of all things, come back to where my granddaddy said I'd never afford a guitar like that. And I got home and ran the serial numbers on it. I think it was a 1964. It was about that time. 64, 65, 62, or 62, I think it was. It's a 62 Jazzmaster. But anyway, this guitar, if you'd buy it today from a tailor like this in a different color sunburst, is $39.95. That tears up $4,000. And this one is a 1998 model. It was made in '98, and I think back then it was $3,900, $3,000. 24. I said 24, 28, 26. Lord, this guitar is 26 years old now. It is vintage, and it's, I guess it's the wood's not cracked anywhere, the finish is not cracked. It's just mellowed out. It's like me mellowed out. Yeah, through it all. That's a great old song. I'll play about another song, I guess. I'll probably put new strings on this thing. Guy by the name, a gentleman by the name of Eugene Moles lives in Gallatin, Tennessee, just about 20 miles north of Nashville. He is a super guitar picker. He played when he was a teenager. He lived in Bakersfield, California, and he played with Merle Haggard for a while as a teenager. He also worked for Simi Mosley at Mose Wright Guitars. And he was a teenager, probably around, he could very well have helped work on my double neck guitar in 1974 because he's quite a bit younger than I am. And but he plays on the RFD TV. There's shows they've changed their program around. Boy, they've really messed their program. But there was a guy named Merlin Jean was on there, but Pearly Price, I think was his name, called Pearly's Place. If you've ever seen the guy, a little guy sitting on a stool with a little black derby on and playing a Fender Telecaster. Well, he went through my Telecaster and replaced the first 6 frets. Then dressed all the rest of them, dressed the sides of them, realigned the neck, reset the truss rod. He completely overhauled it. And while he was up there, I had him to work on this guitar a little bit. And he set it up for me for the strings. This bottom string is a 9-gauge string. Normally, an acoustic guitar would run about a 12 or possibly a 13 where they don't rattle or buzz on an acoustic guitar. But he set this up where I could play a real light string. And I remember when I took the strings off after he put strings on it and adjusted the neck down, that he had double looped the first and second strings on here, and I haven't done that. And that might be what I have to do when I change strings, is double loop, because my Fender Tele over here, I play a 9-gauge on the bottom. Used to play 8s. They were called super light rock and roll, and you could just bend the daylights out of them. I played them for 50 years. And Fender quit making that certain string, and I went to a 9, but on this last I went up to a 10, so I'm only 2 gauges away on this acoustic than my electric. Well, let's see if anybody else jumped on here. Hadn't seen my buddy, hadn't seen the Pope on here in a week, and Jim Lowe over in Asheville is usually a faithful viewer. But he may be busy out and about, I don't know, or may pick it up. Later. But several of my regulars, I guess, summertime coming on and things going on. But I'll see how this time goes. If it don't, I could move it back. I have the option. I'm the CEO around here. In fact, I'm the only one in this room. I got one that's watching. Maybe I haven't messed up too bad tonight, because there's one on here who watches that usually comes to the door with a whiteboard with a note. Something like this or that, or blow your nose or whatever. Don't wipe your nose with your hand, or something like that. I get that kind of instruction. I'll play, what should I play to get out of here? I'm going to play this 728 in Alabama. That's Central Time, or better known as Alabama Time. And Alabama Time goes a long way, because we're just 16 miles from the Georgia line. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to put another camera up in here. I got the third camera over here. It's on. I don't even go to it because it's not good lighting over there. Well, it's not even on now. Yeah, there it is. I hit the wrong button. That's the third camera, and there's not a lot of lighting on that side of the room, but I'm going to put that camera over here because I catch myself watching this big screen monitor. I have see the monitor behind. I watch that monitor all the time, and I instead of looking at this camera, I look where I see what's going on with my levels. So I'm gonna put a camera right here. I'm just looking here at my old iPad. I've been using an instant replay the last month or two, and I set it over to the side, and I went back to kind of got my iPad, and it's a lot lighter. I love this old song right here. I played it 1.5 times, and I was playing it one time, played so many times, just forgot where I was at. Just got kind of carried away, you might say, playing it. But I had this song rambling around in my brain. Had a lot of room to ramble, and I finally went in my studio one night about 12 or 1 o'clock. Linda would go to bed, and I'd close all the doors between the bedroom and the studio, and go in there at night and run tracks or whatever. And I just threw this thing together, and I never have done any better on the track, but I'll play it for you as I get out of here tonight. God bless you. God be with you. Be careful this summer. Don't get sunburned. Use sunscreen because the ozone layers burn up now. And but most of all, be careful and don't get hurt. And pray that God keeps an angel all around you, lest you dash your foot against a stone. That means you got a guardian angel there to keep you from stumping your foot. So just be careful and be blessed. And enjoy your summer. And we're not traveling any. We came back last week from Illinois and Missouri. We're not doing anything for the next month. This is our June coming up. It's our anniversary month. We're going to spend some time on the lake with the RV, camping some. And I hadn't told anybody, very few people, that on June the 21st, Linda and I will be married 55 years. 55 years. Now, I didn't mean to whisper like Biden. I don't want to be like him. But we're going to take a little trip on the old gospel ship. We're living in a gospel ship. I don't know if you've been seeing those lines that says MSA Cruise Lines. It's a very luxurious ship. We've never been on it before. We've been on cheap Carnival. And we're going to go on this thing down at this little place. They own an island down below Nassau. And they leave out of Miami and go to that island and dock for 2 days. They leave out on Monday. They dock for Tuesday and Wednesday. Give you 2 days on a private island down there, all kind of activities and cookouts and everything else. And then we be right there at the ship. We won't stay off much, but then on Wednesday night it pulls out and goes to Nassau. We've been to Nassau 3 or 4 times. I ain't to see there probably still ship. We go to Nassau and then back to Miami on Friday. Be a good little anniversary trip. We're gonna do that on the 24th on Monday, and so we're gonna fly to Miami, and catch Uber, run us over to where we pick up the little boat, and Uber back, and get on the plane to Fort Lauderdale to fly back. It leaves out of Miami, and we're gonna fly down to Fort Lauderdale. Long story there. But we're going to have a good time. But this is a song that I said I've played in the studio, and I love to play it, and I'm going to play this as I go out of here. It's kind of loud. Alright, I know who hosts tomorrow, and join us next week at the same time, same channel, for another rehearsal session with White Harvest TV. God bless you all.